Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to Java programming. So in the past class we talked a lot about primitive data types, and basically today what we're going to do is putting everything into application and basically creating, well, not creating, but running some of those data types that in my opinion are pretty important. So basically, in my opinion, what you will do in Java, well, for this course, what we'll do in Java is basically writing down some text. We're going to do some basic calculations, and we're going to create basic functions with true or false. So basically what will be important is really learning data types that are associated with the three categories that I just talked about. So we have the Boolean category, which is true or false. We have the numbers. So basically we're going to work with int and doubles. And finally, we are going to work with char, which is the primitive data type that help us have, generate text. Not only we're going to work with char, but the char data type, we're going to work with a non-primitive data type, which is string. And basically, this is another way to write down text. So basically, with the char data type, well, there is a little difference, well, a huge difference between the char data type and the string. Basically, char will allow us only to write down one character. So the character could be a number or a letter. It's going to be converted into text, but it's only one character. With string, it's unlimited. This is the main difference. So we will practice basically everything that we do right here, and we're also going to learn the basics about variables, variables as well. So basically, how exactly I want to start this course is pretty simple. We're going to talk a lot about variables as well. So basically, data types comes with variables. So when we're talking about variables, what exactly is it? So a variable is just a place where you guys will store data. So let's say you have a sentence that you want to store in a certain variable. Well, when a certain sentence that you want to store somewhere, you will store it inside of a variable. Same thing with a number, same thing with a calculation. So basically you are going to store all this inside of a variable, and this is really the basics in any programming language that you guys will see. So you will talk about, we are going to talk about data types, and then we're going to talk about variables because it comes together. So in the past class we talked a little bit how we can create a variable, and basically in this class what we're going to do is simply work a little bit more with those variables. So pretty simple. The first thing that we want to do is write down the data type that we want to work with. So right now the first data type that we're going to work with is the char data type, so the character data type. Before we even start, your code should look something like this. So basically you should have your class, your methods, and now we are going to start our coding. So first thing, as I said, pretty simple. We are going to work with the char data type, so it's going to be char. That's the first thing. So we write down our data type. In this case, it's char. Then next thing that we want to write is the name of our variable. So in this case, our variable is going to be, let's say it's var1. So this is our variable. All right, so right now we have our var1, and to what exactly it's going to be equal. So var1 will be equal to, let's say, h. And we always finish our sentence with a dot and a comma. So here we go. We have our first variable. So if we decide to print this variable, so as always, system so here we go. We have our system dot out dot println. And what exactly we want to print in this case? We want to print var1. So here we go. And we decide to run this application. What's going to happen is that we are going to print this variable right here, and we should receive h as an answer. So here it is. We have h. Now, let's say we want to print a word. So we want to print hi, something simple, or yeah, we want to print hi. So as you can see, it's not gonna work because once again, this is a primitive variable, and the only thing it allows us to do is printing only one character. So let me just try it again. So as you can see, there is an error message right here, and we will have a problem right there, so it's not working. So to be able to print more than one character, what exactly we do? Oh, another thing, it's possible to print numbers, but they will be converted into text. So we will not be able to perform calculations with those numbers. So as you can see, right here we have 9, but this is considered as a text. All right, so basically what exactly we want, if we want to print, I don't know, we want to print a text, how exactly we'll do this? So instead of using char, we are going to use something else. So let's create it right there. So let's create another variable. We'll call it var2. So in this case, we are going to use a non-primitive data type, so which is a string. So here we go. We have our string right here. So pretty important using a capital letter. There we go. Now what will be the name of our data type? Not data type, our variable. It's gonna be var2. And right now, let's give it a name. Let's call it, I don't know. Hi, my name is XYZ. And dot comma. Now let's say we want to print our variable var2. So here we printed our var1. We want to print var2. So let's run it to see what it looks like. And as you can see, here we can have the text, which is var2. Hi, my name is XYZ. It's also possible to add numbers right here. So XYZ90. So what's going to happen is, once again, it will print the number that is right there, so XYZ90, but I won't be able to make calculations with this number. So basically, let's say I want to work with this number right here. I will not be able to work with it because the data type of this number is not a number, it's a string. All right, next thing that we want to work with are Boolean. So here we'll write down Boolean. So this is another data type. So we'll write down var3. Here we go. So another thing with data types, just right now, when you create data types, you can't create variables. You can't have space in variables. So as you can see here, I have a mistake. So your variables should really be together. If you want to add a space, you can write it down this way. But once again, I don't suggest writing down spaces. All right. So what exactly want to write down for Boolean? Let's say it's going to be true. Here we go. There. All right. So let's say I want to print var number 3. So var3 dot comma. And I want to run my app. So as you can see, it just printed true. Same thing if I want to print false. Same thing. So false. It will print my false right there. So basically this type of data, well, the Boolean type of data, how it works is pretty simple. It allows us basically to print true or false values and allow us to work with those values in case that we have huge functions. All right, next data type. Let's say we want to have numbers. So we are going to use a simple data type that is called int. So in this case, we'll write down int var4. So in this case, variable number 4 will be a number. So here our number, let's say it's gonna be 90. So we have our number right there, and we want to print our variable 4. Here we go. We run our variable number 4, and as you can see, it just printed out 90. So basically, this is our number. Now let's say I want to add I want to add decimals to this number. So in this case, I want to add 0.9. It's not going to work because once again, there are decimals and int will only allow complete numbers. So as you can see, it's not working. And when we go right there to understand the mistake, it will say that we should use the double data type, which allows decimals for our numbers. So as you can see, the int data type will allow us to have complete numbers. So let's say I want to print 900. It will allow us to have full numbers. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I add a decimal, it's not going to work. to be able to add decimals, well, I can use the float data type, but once again, if I want to use the whole data type that allows me to have how much decimals I want, it's going to be the double data type. So we'll write it down right there. So double EAR 5. And here, let's say I want to write down 1.23. There we go. Oh, I forgot. I should run the variable number 5. All right, great. So right now I just printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I want to print all this. And as you can see, it printed absolutely everything. So those are the main data types that we are going, well, in my opinion, are the most important to know. There are some other data types that we talked about in the past few classes. They are part of the primitive data types. But for the purpose of this course, we're mostly going to work with int, which are numbers, and the double data type, which in my opinion is the most complete. This one takes a lot of space. So basically, if you guys work with huge applications or you guys create huge applications, just in that case, you will maybe work with other data types such as long or short, for example. But for the purpose of this course, those will be the data types that we are going to work with. So let's do another little cool thing. So basically, if we want to print everything that we have right there, it's basically possible. So we'll just have to copy and paste everything. Great, now we can just change what we have. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's run it. So what will happen right now, everything that we have just created will be printed. So we have our first variable, which is right there, which is 9. We have our second variable right there, which is my sentence. Third variable, which is my true or false with my boolean. My fourth variable, which is 900. And my fifth variable, which is 1.2345. So as you can see, pretty simple until now. Those are the data types that we are going to use. And basically to print those data types, it's this is how it works. So the way the code is written, pretty simple. The code to write down a variable, pretty simple. We write down our data type, then we write down the name of our variable, then we write down the content of the variable. So pretty simple, data type, name of the variable, and content. All right, so right now you guys should understand what exactly is a data type, and you should also know how to create your own variables. So that's it for this class, guys, and see you all in our next class.